Hop in the range, take off in the space.
Hey guys, it's cbgray coming to you guys live at another Destiny video. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, guys, we have a lot to talk about, and this is a video that I've been looking forward to making, but I wasn't sure when I was going to put it out, and I honestly didn't want to make another Destiny 2 review video prematurely like we did in vanilla Destiny 2 right before it was to flop, and to basically give it a really good review and be really happy with it, only to realize later that the game really didn't have much to it outside of the first few weeks. So I didn't really want to put out any type of Forsaken review until well into its release, and I think that now that it's October 4th where I'm recording this, but it will probably be October 5th when it comes out, but after a full month of Forsaken being out, I finally think it's a fair time for us to make this video. And so I think that there's no better way for me to do this than to kind of bring back our series of making a video within 20 minutes, and we're only going to talk about this for 20 minutes. So today this is going to be everything Forsaken in under 20 minutes. If I'm past 20 minutes on this timer, cut my head off and tell me I'm a terrible YouTuber, or be nice about it at least. Okay, here we go. So the overwhelming question that I really get in my Forsaken streams is Forsaken worth it? So we're going to start off on the story mode, guys. So even though it only had 5 to 6 missions, I really did enjoy these 5 to 6 missions, and I really liked the energy and the emotion that was in them. I really liked the cutscenes, and I really liked that there was a darker feel within Forsaken. It was something very different to the Destiny game that was really not really lighthearted before, but very just dry. It didn't have anything. In Destiny 1 vanilla, it wasn't down, it wasn't up, it just was eh. And that's kind of how it was, and here it really wasn't like that. And then to kind of go over top of those 5 to 6 missions that would normally sound pretty underwhelming was a bunch of adventures where I'm not going to spoil it all for the people that are in here trying to make a decision on if they're going to buy, but you kill a lot of different people incorporated into the story and that are related into the story that kind of build on the story. So they're not really worthless adventures that don't have anything to do with the story. It's something that actually is going to continue to build the story, and it's really cool. I think you guys will enjoy it if you haven't done it already. And there's a plot twist at the end that's very cool as well. It's not just very straightforward as most of the story modes are, where it's like, alright, DLC is about A, go kill A, or it's about B and go kill B. So it really wasn't like that, and I really liked the dark theme just throughout the whole story all the way to the end. It was just something that was very refreshing because it was very different to this game, and something that the game really needed. They made it personal by killing Cade. Everybody knows that Cade 6 died, and that was something that hit the Destiny 2 community very hard. It's somebody that has been with us since literally the beginning, and it's not something that's good. I know I'm talking about like it's a good thing, but it actually was good in the sense that it made the community rally together, and that's something that Destiny 2 really needed after Destiny 2 Vanilla and after Curse of Osiris, which were both tragedies. And Warmind was, I thought, pretty good, but it just wasn't enough to pick it up out of the hole. It was a ladder that was 11 feet deep, and we were buried in a 200-foot hole. So I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. So moving on, guys, like I said, the emotion is what just really brings out the best qualities in the game. So you lose a huge character, you have a very dark DLC, and it just means something, and that's really important, and just something that I think really needs to be stressed, because I think a game really needs to have some type of thing that you can buy into to really make it personal and to really make it hit home. So that was something I was very happy with. Moving into the leveling system, guys, it's not easy to get to max level anymore. It is not easy. You're gonna be grinding. When you get to level 500, you're gonna hit a soft cap. It's not gonna be easy to break it. It's gonna take some grinding. It's gonna take using your weekly and daily bounties, which, getting into that, guys, there's so many weekly bounties to do to level up. There's rotating daily bounties that add depth over top of those weekly bounties and add a little bit of randomness to where your engrams are gonna come. It might be one Crucible match in a day that you need to do. It might be one strike you need to do. It might be a heroic adventure on the EDZ or something. It's very cool because it's not the same. It doesn't feel like you're doing constantly the same thing over and over. It actually does feel like, oh hey, I need to do this today, this is different, and it's really, really cool. It's something that I respect a lot. So I think it's something that's been a very, very good idea. And I like that on top of that, they put a prime engram that incentivizes you to play each day, because you're going to get rewarded with one powerful drop every day. A prime engram is very, very important in the game. And I think that they did a great job of making it where we're incentivized to do things like lost sectors, patrols, all these different random things while we're playing, because there really is a chance that you can get that prime engram from just about anything, where back in the day you knew exactly where you're going to get your powerful engrams from. So something that I really, really did like. I like the clan bounties. I like that there's things we need to do with our clan to be able to boost up your clan rank and be able to also get a clan engram that helps you out for the week. Very, very good. I like that there's also bounties that reward powerful gear as well, whether it's the bounties in the Dreaming City, whether it's the bounty for Gambit, whether it's the bounty for the Spider. All of those are very, very good, and I like how it's very diverse on how we're getting these powerful engrams. You're hearing that I'm saying a lot of different things. I mean, we go from raids all the way down to simple events. All of these can help in different ways. I really, really like that, because I don't like things kind of being left out. I like all of the content being incorporated and all of it having meaning. I really like that. And I like that it's just not easy to get to 600 simply. I've been streaming every day and I am at 580. And it's been over a month. The max level 600, and I am going to enjoy getting those last 20 light levels. And it's something that is a grind, and it's a journey, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate the journey. For the people that are just now stepping into it, for the people that really want to grind, this is going to be the game for you. And if you're really not wanting the grind, it is going to take a little longer to get to 600, but nonetheless very possible for any player if you just put the time into it. And so getting into it, we're going to now talk about kind of what buried Destiny 2 Vanilla and what really buried Curse of Osiris as well, and that's the end game. The end game can't be the non-existent game. It has to exist. There needs to be a reason to play once you're done with the story, and there needs to be reason to keep coming back even after you hit the max level. That's another big thing. It's one thing for you to keep playing when you're not max level, but why are you still playing when you're max level? That's when you know that you have successful endgame that's continuing to bring your players in. So let's kind of discuss what the endgame had so far in Forsaken that I'm really, really liking. Well, the raid is fantastic. We'll get into that in a little bit. The Blind Well is also very, very cool, and that's in the Dreaming City, and it's a new version of EP. The enemies are different on different weeks, and you do these to kind of complete a bounty that helps you complete a weekly that helps you get a powerful engram. You also can get one of your new supers from here. There's different things incorporated into this activity that help you after you finish the story, and I like that they incorporate other different things within the Blind Well to make it useful to you on a weekly basis. I enjoy that. I like that exotics are a freaking grind again. I love it, and we're gonna get into depth about exotics just like we're gonna get into depth about the raid in just a little bit. And so weapons feel really good, guys. We have random rolls. Each gun is different. I can be playing the game in September and be playing the same game in January and getting the exact same gun, but it's not the exact same gun, and I love that. I love that the Better Devils doesn't have to always be the Better Devils, and I'm still grinding for my Duke, and I can't wait to get Outlaw on it, because it's going to be insane for the people who know what that gun is. That is my gun. And so, I also really like, guys, and some people don't, but Infusion is a grind and a half. It's a lot to make your weapons and your armor stronger. It takes materials on sometimes places that you can buy them, but a lot of times you need to go to that corresponding planet and grind for them. It gives you reason to go to the different patrol spaces. It makes them matter, and it gives you a reason to go to those vendors and pick up their bounties. It's just incorporating all of the game into itself. I like that. Don't just forget about the content that you created once you hit certain points. Continue to incorporate all of it. It's all at your disposal, and I think it's smart what they're doing. So I really, really do appreciate that. And that's going to move into something, guys, also that usually you'd expect that after a few weeks there's nothing new to do. So there's still stuff to do to get new weapons, there's still stuff to do to get your light higher, but usually there's not actually new activities. But in Forsaken, this is very different. So in Forsaken, at launch, there was the story that everybody was doing, and everybody was unlocking the Dreaming City, and that was really the bulk of what people were doing in that first week and grinding up their light level. In week 2, the raid came out, and once the raid was finished, we got a new strike. That's interesting because we're not used to having new stuff come out after launch. Usually you get everything and that's just what it is. And then week 3, everyone was freaking out about the wish room that was within the raid, and the plate was found in Nessus. That was one of the codes for one of the wishes, and everybody was really in wish mode on week 3 of Forsaken, where in week 4 the Malfeasance and Wish Ender quests went live and the dungeon was introduced that we'll also talk about here in just a little bit. And so like I said guys, I just really like that depth. I really like that new stuff is continuing to come each week. I like that the Dreaming City has endless stuff to do each week. Petra's in a different place each week. She has different quests and challenges for us each week. Bounties and activities lead to powerful loot, like I said. And then the Ascendant challenge each week is just beautiful. It's such great and beautifully done pieces of work. Sometimes they're not even that hard, but they're just so great to look at. And the creative team just needs a pat on the back because honestly, they created some very beautiful places, especially this past week's Ascendant challenge. And speaking of that guys, Nightfalls also have exclusive loot, and it's randomly rolled for endless grinding possibilities. To kind of go back on my point about the random rules, just like you could grind back in Destiny 1 for that Imago's loop until you got the Imago Fatebringer loop, now you can find endless possibilities with the different guns within the Nightfalls. And to make it even better, they've rotated it where now you can choose within one of 3 each week, which is really cool and allows you to kind of pick and choose what weapon you want and really work the system to your advantage. I think customization is good, and I feel like that's good for the game. I also think Crucible is very fun. I'm loving it. Guns feel great again. Hand cannons feel amazing for you hand cannoners. New maps have been introduced at launch, but then they were introduced in week 4 as well. That goes back to new content being released each week. They're releasing new Crucible maps after launch. That's something very different, and I like that. Iron Banner had a better feel to it. I didn't think that every weapon felt like a reskin. I think that the guns were worth grinding for, such as Luna's Howl, and it's actually worth it to go grind competitive now. I like that. We obviously already have our ranking system to Crucible, and I think that's very good for the game. And I also am liking how they're experimenting with new game modes as well. New game modes are being introduced within the game, and I like that, guys. It's very good, and it shows that Bungie is listening, guys, and that's the key. And Gambit's loads of fun too, guys. I said loads of fun. Gambit is a lot of fun. And you're gonna get sleepered a lot, and a lot of people have been complaining about that, but that's gonna change soon, hopefully. But the quests attached to it make it meaningful, such as the Malfeasance quest and needing to grind to get the meatball monster to spawn, and as you guys play, you'll know what I'm talking about. The rewards for maxing out your rank are very good, and then it's just a creative way of bringing PvP and PvE together. It's PvPvE. I like it. It's good to me. Very good. And now, finally, to go to the Last Wish raid. This raid is beautifully done. The music is insane, but ultimately the real question is it worth it to do? And honestly, guys, without coordination, this can be one of the hardest raids to date, in my opinion. It took the longest it's ever taken for the first team to beat it. I think that the encounters are just so creative, especially the Vault. It's just the creative team was on steroids for this raid. I really liked it, but the loot is meaningful. There's such great rolls on some of these weapons, the curated rolls, which just means that there's these specialized rolls that you can get from certain weapons that are really good, and they're kind of locked. And then there's also random rolls you can get on those same weapons. There's loads of secrets like the wish eggs, but also the wish room and all of these other different things. There's weapons that you actually want, like I said, and it was a huge success. And there's even challenges, and lots of them, and one is going flawless on the raid, so I promise you'll have your work cut out for you. It's not just gonna be kill a thrall and get a challenge. It's really gonna be a grind. and I really like that. The last wish, in my opinion, was a huge success. The dungeon was a huge success. It added a 3-man activity, as I mentioned. It's extremely difficult because the light level is very high, but it adds another layer to the game, and if you're able to get all the way through it, you can even grab an exotic from it, the Wish Ender, which is really cool, and I'm sorry that my computer just made that noise. Moving on to exotics, because we were just talking about the Wish Ender. Exotics feel exotic again, guys, and I love it so much. They're super rare, and my laptop, please stop. They're super rare, like I said, guys, and just they're meaningful. The reaction is just something like this.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like with the team that we have, there's no reason for that. Oh, I got the Trinity Ghoul! Oh! The Trinity Ghoul! Oh!
So as you can see, guys, I was just a tiny little bit happy. But in all seriousness, man, I'd really get excited for those feelings in those moments, because it really makes the game for me. It reminds me of Destiny 1, it makes me happy, and that's something that I want to see continue, in my just personal opinion. And so I'm okay with it being hard for exotics to drop because of the fact that there's still some easier exotics that you can get from quests, such as Chaperone and such as the Ace of Spades. Those are mixed with some harder, time-gated and RNG based quests, such as the Malfeasance and Wish Ender. So you kind of have 2 quests that are kind of hard to get, and you have 2 quests that are pretty easy. And then you can mix that in with the exotic bounty from the Lord of Wolves, so you can grind your bounties until you get the Lord of Wolves to drop, which I just got to drop a little bit ago, which I'm happy about. And then you have an exotic on the top of like the pyramid, and that's the 1,000 voices that you can only get from the raid. So it's very balanced, and I do like how there's a lot of different places you can get exotics. So I'm not too upset that they take a long time to drop. That's just me though. And then another thing that I've been really impressed with on Bungie's end is that they've been actively being responsive to people on Twitter, on Reddit, and it's really been making me happy to see that Bungie actually seems to care about our opinions and actually care about our business now, where for a little bit, especially in Curse of Osiris, it just did not seem like they cared about us at all. And so I'm really liking the changes. They're responding quickly to kind of the complaints about the Sleeper Simulant, which is getting a nerf. They've made some exotic changes to kind of limit the amount of year 1 exotics that you're gonna get over and over again, so you're not gonna get 14 fighting lines anymore, hopefully. They have some masterwork changes that are coming because masterworks are pretty hard to come by right now, and they're going to try to incorporate some new ways that you can get them and kind of make infusion just a little bit easier based on the community's response. And it just, overall, guys, just feels like they're making an effort, and this is very good in my opinion. And one thing that I thought that plagued Bungie a little bit in the beginning of Forsaken is that there seemed to be a lot of glitches and a lot of exploits. And that's something that's going to happen in a game, but it felt like there were more than usual, and more than a usual amount. And I would recommend that Bungie playtests a little bit more before they release their stuff. And you'd think that a lot of these glitches would kind of mess up the game in the sense where there was one where you could get the raid chest and get raid loot before the raid ever even came out. And you'd think that would have made it easier to beat the raid, but it didn't even matter. Same thing with glitching and exploiting to get powerful engrams. Back when we mentioned the prime engrams, there's some exploits to get a whole lot at once, and even that didn't seem to mess up the balance of the game. It was still, the raid was hard on opening day, and no matter how many exploits you did, it didn't really matter. Those people weren't even the ones that were really racing to get worlds first. And so I would just recommend that they have more testing before they release their games. That'd be one huge bit of criticism that I hope they take, and that they just really have some of these people that find all of these crazy glitches maybe come playtest their games. Give them some money, give them a job. I think that those people are really talented, and they find some stuff where it just doesn't even make sense how they're able to find it. And so lastly, guys, there's loads of triumphs available that you can complete to boost your score. You get emblems for a lot of accomplishments, and I like that because it gives you an incentive to do things in the game even after you're level 600. You can keep grinding triumphs to kind of show off to your friends, and it really reminds me of the Grimoire. There's lore to grab all over the different worlds, and it adds that extra layer. I missed in Destiny 1 going to collect dead ghosts and boosting my Grimoire score, and I like that now we have triumphs, and that's just gonna add an extra layer on top of the cake. and I think that that's also very, very good. So as I'm running out of time, guys, all in all, I think Forsaken was an absolutely amazing experience in the first month. I think Destiny, I'm gonna make a bold statement, is arguably in the best state it's ever been, just overall right now. And I really, really am looking forward to the future and looking forward to these new expansions that we have coming on the horizon. The annual pass is included with the Black Armory is what we kind of have going on next, and we have live events coming as well with the Festival of the Lost. So let's hope those go good. So with that, guys, I'm gonna stop talking. Sorry that I ran over just a little bit, but I could have gone on forever. So I hope that we were able to touch on the biggest points. I hope that if you haven't played Forsaken yet, that this will give you the information you need to make an educated decision that you might not have been able to get on a review that came out in 1 week. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, please smash that like button, guys. It really, really, really supports the channel. Like and subscribe, as I said like twice, good lord. Make sure you turn on the bell for notifications. I love you guys so much and thank you for the support. And with that, I'm gonna talk to you guys in the next Destiny video. Thanks, I love you guys.
Destructo dish just like I'm Krillin, yeah. I'm presidential like I'm Reagan, yeah. I'm outer space, it's Armageddon, yeah. And take a ship above the